the Madman! Alright, hello everyone. We got another March of the Lich King reveal for you today. It's the neutral cards, and I am not going to lie to you. This is the worst of the bunch. So we're gonna start off with the most exciting one in my opinion. It's a legendary. It's Astalor Bloodsworn, 2 mana 2/2 legendary. Battle Cry, add Astalor the Protector to your hand. Mana Thirst 4, deal 2 damage. So at 4 or more mana crystals when you cast this, it's a 2/2/2 that deals 2 damage, which is good stats and effect for the cost. Very good. And it adds another card to your hand. Nice. Astalor the Protector, 5 mana 5/5. Battle Cry, add Astalor the Flamebringer to your hand. Mana Thirst 7, gain 5 armor. So that's a shield bearer, which is nice because a lot of classes could use that neutral heal effect. And on top of that, you get another card on top. That's so much value. The end card, Astalor the Flamebringer. 8/8/8, Battle Cry, deal 8 damage randomly split between all enemies. Mana Thirst, 10, deal 8 more. Okay, that's really good. That goes into like all my control decks ever. Now for ultimate value, you can brand Astalor the Protector. And then for 8 mana, you gain 5 armor, get a 5/5, and add 2 Astalor the Flamebringers to your hand. So in the very end game, you're gonna have 2 8/8s that deal 16 damage apiece when you play them. That's pretty sweet. Now, supposing you had 18 mana somehow, you could play Bran, Astalor Bloodsworn, Astalor the Protector, Astalor the Flamebringer all in one go, and end up with an extra copy of Astalor the Protector in your hand, as well as an extra copy of Astalor the Flamebringer. So after you play your other Astalor the Protector, you could then play 2 more Astalor the Flamebringers. Just drew things, ba-da-bum, boop. Alright, now are you ready to go fast for the other 11 neutral cards that I'm going to cover? Let's go. It's Koronor, it's 2 mana 2/2, Battle Cry, freeze an enemy minion, Mana Thirst 6, silence at first. Most of the effects that you want to silence happen in the late game, so I think it's okay for the Mana Thirst to kick in around 6, and if you're up against a deck that doesn't have very many silenceable effects, you can just play this as a 2 mana 2/2 freeze. Not very good, but, you know, could be played for tempo. I think it'll be a fine techie card if there's stuff that you need to silence. Covering a card that's been out for a while, but I actually missed it the first time around, missed covering it at least. Sunfury Clergy, 3 mana 2/4, Battle Cry, restore 3 health to all friendly characters. Mana Thirst 6, restore 6 health instead. This is actually a very powerful neutral healing tool. Most of the healing you want to play tends to be in the late game because, you know, you don't need to heal early because healing provides bad stats for the cost. You know, as does taunt and all that. You generally want to play that in your last because you want to play the big stats for the cost minions first. Anyways, my point is Sunfury Clergy is a good card for a lot of the classes that want that neutral healing. The 6 healing from here, as well as the 5 armor gain from Astalor, that's like a plus 17 health to decks that normally don't have access to healing, such as Value Rogue. Nice. Did you know, by the way, that I'm revealing Rogue stuff on November 25th? Ooh. But yeah, really good neutral healing tool. Alright, we got an Enchanter, 3 mana 3/3, enemy minions take double damage during your turn. This is similar to Moarg Artificer, which made all minions take double damage from spells. But Enchanter is more favorable because you know, double damage only happens to the enemy minions, and it counts for combat damage as well. There have been very few good effects that care when you only affect enemy minions, when you yourself have minions. Like, for that to be good, it seems a bit too specific. That Moarg Artificer wasn't even good, except in the combo deck, which OTK'd the opponent. Silvermoon Arcanist, 3 mana 2/2, spell damage plus 2, Battle Cry, your spells can't target heroes this turn. You know how I mentioned how cards that buff your ability to deal with enemy minions when combined with other things have not tended to be good? Well, the same goes for Silvermoon Arcanist. That's a pretty tough sell. Yes, if she manages to survive, then you have permanent spell damage +2, and you can send your next wave of spells at the enemy face. But that is never going to happen. You got your Crystal Broker, 3 mana 3/2, Mana Thirst 5, summon a random 3-cost minion, Mana Thirst 10, summon an 8-cost minion instead. I don't need to say that no one will ever cast this on turn 3. It's 3 mana 3/2, terrible. On turn 5, if your average 3-cost minion is a 3/3, you're going to get a 3/2 and a 3/3 for 3 mana. Pretty terrible, like possibly has some application with Evolve Shaman, you can evolve the 5-cost. And then at 10 mana, you could spend 3 mana and get an 8 mana card as well as a 3/2. And that's honestly pretty good, but that's a long time to wait for a 3 mana card. Wait until turn 10 to play and get a random effect. I don't see it. Next up, we got Bloody Knight, 3 mana 4/5 at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to your hero. This is similar to the Neferset Thrasher card from Warlock. Better, because the Thrasher dealt 3 damage each time you attacked. If you were to go for a trade, you would still take the damage. The Bloody Knight, on the other hand, if you manage to get rid of the Knight, then you don't take the damage. It's a little bit different because the Knight will cause you to take damage at the first turn where it's doing nothing, where the Thrasher wouldn't do anything. So, trade-offs, it only deals 2 damage to your hero. While a 3 mana 4/5 is good stats for the cost, it's not really that big a cost of 2 damage to your hero per turn. I'm just not really that sure that a 3 mana 4/5 vanilla would see much play. I think this is a good stat push direction to go in, but ultimately there's probably something better. Ember Whelp, 3 mana 3/3 dragon. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage. So this is actually a really good card. Just put it in a dragon deck. Are there dragon decks out there right now? Probably not, but good setup card for the future. I have nothing really to add other than put it into a dragon deck. It's really good in a dragon deck, and it makes you want to play a dragon deck, but it itself is not good enough to create a dragon deck. And we saved the exciting 3-drop for last. Hawkstrider Rancher, 2/5. After you play a minion, give it +1/+1 and Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Hawkstrider. Notably, it's on play, not on summon, because obviously if it was summoned that would be ridiculous, because whenever your Hawkstriders died, you would summon more Hawkstriders. The card's really strong, like that's a powerful effect. It's got decent stats for the cost, 3 mana 2/5. 5 health is premium health for 3 mana. Pretty difficult to remove, so the strategy, if you were to put this in your deck, which would be a zoo type deck or token-based deck, which didn't make its tokens off of spells but off of minions, you would want to play this on 3 probably, and then hope that it survives. Pretty good chance that it does, because you'll probably have a board on 2 and tackle the opponent's board. Play this Rancher on 3, hard to remove the 5 health, and then on turn 4 you hopefully drop 2 or 3 minions. Give your minions total of +6/+6 in value of stats. So yeah, definitely a lot of potential in small minion floody type decks. Over at 4 mana, we got a Sanctum Spellbender, 4 mana 3/6. Whenever your opponent targets another minion with a spell, redirect it to this. For this card, I decided to do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Skit. I play Sanctum Spellbender and pass. Haha, you fool! I have lethal! I will cast my Blessing of Kings on my Silverhand recruit and swing in for 5 damage. Wait! My Sanctum Spellbender triggers and puts the Blessing of Kings on my Sanctum Spellbender. Oh no! Yeah, there's no world where this ever works. It doesn't even protect the face, by the way. Cool effect, but really not prevalent enough to be put on a card. That's the thing about minions with game-altering effects on them. You can just turn them off by killing them. You got Silvermoon Armor, a 4 mana 4/4 with Rush. Mana Thirst 7, gain +2/+2. So on turn 7 onwards, or whenever you get to 7 mana, you have the ability to pay 4 mana for a 6/6 with Rush. Yeah, it's just not really enough of a payoff to run a not very good card. That's not to say that Mana Thirst as a whole is not good. Again, I point to the Silvermoon Sentinel, that's a payoff, where you're paying 3 mana for 4/7 with Divine Shield. That's a lot more attractive, I think, than paying 4 mana for a 6/6 with Rush. especially since it makes more sense for the defensive decks to want the taunt and the high health stats with Divine Shield. But it's a little bit tougher to know what type of decks want a 6/6 with Rush. And finally, last, and sadly least, Translocation Instructor. 5 mana 4/4 battlecry, choose an enemy minion, swap it with a random one in their deck. So I mean, there's two things good about this. One, Vol'jin did see a little bit of play, but it was mostly meant to disrupt your opponent's hand, which is because the hand holds the combo card for a while, so it's likely to be in their hand. The deck is just like completely random. Who knows if you're actually disrupting a card in their deck. The other thing that's good about this is the flavor text is on point. Translocates behind you. Psh, nothing personnel, kid. Oh, so good. So those are the neutrals. These are the ones from the Silvermoon side. We haven't seen the undead side yet, which means I pretty much know who's going to win this war of Silvermoon versus undead. Because the Silvermoon cards look like pack filler, really tech cards, whereas the undead cards are probably going to be the mean, lean, aggressive, well-statted cards that actually have useful battle effects. Bring on the undead side. Silvermoon is definitely going to fall.